Hello everyone, I hope you are doing good. I'm Shagun. I'm the founder of Shagun, which offers online courses on anti-money laundering, KYC screening, due diligence, and other risk-related roles. Okay, so today let us look at what is the difference between a fraudster, a defaulter, and a money launderer. We'll look at these three in detail with few examples. Now, let us say in either of the scenarios, how would the bank respond, or what would be the actions taken from the bank in all these scenarios? Let us look at a few signs of a fraudster or the behavior of a fraudster. So, generally, after taking the loan, the fraudster, would obviously run away with the money, change the address, change the telephone numbers, and would leave no avenues for the bank so that the bank can call the customer for collecting the money. Now, in such a scenario, what is the role of the investigator? The role of the investigator is to see how was the money taken in the first place. Okay, so has the fraudster used any falsified documents like the pay slips which the fraudster submitted? Were they fraudulent or manipulated in any ways? Or were the ID proofs or address books submitted, were they manipulated in any ways? So basically, you see that there is a confirmed evidence that yes, the customer has used falsified or manipulated documents. Now, let us look at how a defaulter would behave under such circumstances. So, defaulter is generally a person who has taken a loan using genuine documents, no manipulation in the documents, genuine address proof, ID proof, proof of income, your pay slip. Yeah, and then he's taken the loan, he's started paying the loan, and maybe his personal circumstances have changed and he's not financially that sound now, and he has missed on a few of his payments, and that story has continued for a lot of time. Now that is when the investigator should check whether has there been any false document used, falsified or manipulated documents used. Everything is clear, then obviously the fraud aspect is gone. Yeah. Now, what would be the further course of action? We'll look at it from the bank's perspective. After we look at what would a money launderer do, or how would a money launderer behave in such a scenario. Now, let us look at how a money launderer will behave in such a scenario. Okay, so the money launderer will obviously take a loan using genuine documents, and then after 3 or 4 months period of time, after taking the loan, the money launderer would pay off the loan in full. Okay, and obviously, when the bank obviously earns money on the tenure of the loan, so the longer the loan exists, the longer the money would be gained by the bank with interest, right? So, if the money launderer would typically close the loan within 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, and that too in one shot. Yeah, and also would not bother of any charges, like pre-closure charges or whatever type of charges the banks, put on that particular loan closure. So money launderer is not bothered. Yeah, a few amount is gone, in making that money appear to be genuine. Then so be it. So money launderer does not care about the charges. That is how a money launderer would behave. And we'll also look at what would be the approach of a bank. Would this require reporting to the authorities on the basis of money laundering or fraud, or it does not require a reporting? And if it does not require reporting to the authorities, then what are the actions taken by the bank? So let us look at all this in detail. So in case of a fraudster, very straightforward, because the fraudster has used manipulated documents to gain the loan, and he's not paid the money, he's defaulted the money, and the intent was very clear that he wanted to take the money and default on his payment. So straightforward, report on the basis of fraud, mainly due to fraudulent documents being submitted, which is a crime against the banking system. And then the bank would also exit the relationship with the customer, because when the documents itself are false, then the whole integrity of that particular account is in question. Yeah. So reporting for fraudulent submission of documents, and then exit the customer on the basis of fraudulent documents, uh, and then blacklist the customer in terms of his credit scoring, or blacklist within the bank, so that there are no loans given to that particular customer in the future. Now let us see what actions would the bank take when the customer is not able to pay the loan. So obviously the bank will call up the customer. Yeah, the customer is genuine. The customer submitted genuine documentation, nothing to be worried about, and then genuinely there was a loan which was given by the bank to the customer. So the bank would call the customer and ask him, to set up a payment plan. Like, okay, we are going to not ask you money for 3 months, 6 months, depending on the bank policies. And then after that, you're going to pay, 50% or 70% of the loan amount. And there is a payment plan which is drafted and agreed by both the bank and the customer. Now, what if the customer's financial circumstances are not allowing him to pay that much as well? Then there will be, obviously, it is up to the bank what to do. The bank would obviously, blacklist the customer from giving any further loans. Obviously, the customer's credit scoring will get impacted. What action would a bank take in terms of a money launderer? So obviously, pretty straightforward again. The accounts of the customer would be reported for potential suspicions of money laundering. Yeah, and then the account of the customer would be exited based on whatever information is received from the authorities. Before we move on to the last section, as you're aware, shagunavada.in offers online classes on anti-money laundering, transaction monitoring, KYC, due diligence, and other risk-related roles. So if you're interested to join, please call me on the number, or you can WhatsApp me on the number displayed there. And you can also encourage aspiring candidates to go ahead with the courses. All right. So in either of the scenarios, the final action taken by the bank is that the account is written off to bad debts. Yeah. So that is the final action taken by the bank. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care of yourself. See you later. Bye bye.